We bring you the stories that matters the most and news that shapes our nation. GMEB TV, bringing the Gambia to your screen. Welcome to GMEB TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. And open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type GMEB TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights, for the latest in sports. We bring you the stories that matters the most and news that shapes our nation. GMEB TV, bringing the Gambia to your screen.
Hello beautiful viewers, welcome to another edition of Youth Empowerment here on GMEB TV with me Ramatoulie Jatta as the host, and today we have a very special guest, and without any further ado, let's just give him the mic for him to explain or tell us who he is.
Thank you very much, Ramatoulie. Esteemed viewers, I am Omar Sanyang, and I am glad to be here today, Ramatoulie. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Omar, for this guest of yours. So today, actually, we're talking about how youth serve as role models for the younger generation. You know, we did talk about youth employment, how youth how actually youths promote national development in their various perspectives. So, but today we were talking about how youth actually serve as role models in our communities. So Omar is actually a youth activist, I believe. So today I have some questions for you. And number one here is, how do you think young people can inspire younger ones or the younger generations in their various communities?
All right, thank you very much. That is a special question. You know, we are living in a society that 60 to 70% of the population is youth. The youthful population is 60 to 70%. And it is very important for youths to understand the dynamics of how governments run, how institutions are made in this country. So there is this saying that mostly our old flocks will be using, that is, the youths are the future leaders. You know, I beg to differ on several occasions that we are not the future, we are today. And we must not wait until when we are old and we want to take leadership positions. So I think it has to start from our youthful population, our youthful age. You know, even religiously, you know, the moment that God really wants you to worship Him most is at your youthful age. So when you are old, your muscle might not be able to do some works. So I think how youths can inspire the younger generation. The youths have to take part in decision-making processes of their countries. You know, we are here to talk about youth empowerment. It's very sad that the youths of this country specifically are leaving this country to use the Mediterranean Sea, irregular migration. And it's consuming the youthful population of this country. That every year, over hundreds of youths died there. They died because they lack something at home. Something is not there that can empower them. So when we talk about youth empowerment in the country, it is sad that the government will tell you that we are doing this for the youths, we are doing that for the youths. Is that really reflecting on the lives of the youths? Are you really doing it for the youths, or you are doing it for yourself? So how can the youths inspire the younger generation? It's a question that is still unanswered, because the youths have to be there first before they inspire the younger generation that is coming after them. But if the youths are not there, it is going to be very difficult for youths to inspire the younger generation. So I think that is where the problem lies. So when we talk about empowerment issues, it is still lagging in this country, that the government is not doing enough to make sure that the youth are self-sufficient or self-reliant. You know, when we talk about self-sufficient or self-reliant, we are now talking about youths taking ownership of things that are in their country. Now they can rely on those things to make living out of it. But we are living in a country that the youth prefer going outside the country to search for greener pastures than staying at home. So you ask yourself this question, is everything normal? Is everything good? Everything is not good in this country. That is the bottom line. So sometimes we want to, in as much as we want to blame the youth on certain things, but I think the country owe us something. One of the reasons why we vote in elections is we sacrifice some of our rights to the government. One of the reasons why we pay tax is we sacrifice some of our rights to the government. So us sacrificing those rights to the government, we expect governments to do those things for us. For instance, let's say employment. It is the sole responsibility of the government to provide employment opportunities for the youths. Security, health. But let's look at all these, things in this country where they are intact. So it's going to be very difficult for the youthful generation to inspire the younger generation. But still, the youths are trying in this country. They are doing good. When you go to entrepreneurship, most of the youths are now into entrepreneurship. They are now inspiring the younger generations. But is that sustainable if the government is not chipping in? That is the question. Is it sustainable? Yes, the government is not providing employment opportunities. Youths now went into entrepreneurship. But is that sustainable if the government is not chipping in? Entrepreneurship needs knowledge. People need to understand what entrepreneurship means. So the youthful population should not be left behind. They should be really, trained on issues like entrepreneurship so that they can make a living out of it. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Omar, and all the youths out there. Entrepreneurship is actually something that can earn you something without you being relying on people or, let's say, working for someone, but you can be your own boss. So the opportunities are there, just try your best and then grab one and then make best use of it. So thank you, Omar, and that will take us to the next question. This one is about some of your role models. Like, we've seen a lot of people in this country now, especially youth. I'm happy when you go to their Facebook pages, you see them doing a lot of things. They volunteer, they serve as community leaders and all that. So who are some of your role models?
Thank you very much. Role models, I have few. And I have reasons why I do not choose role models randomly. It is very important for youth to look up to someone, very, very important. But who am I looking up to is a question. Am I looking up to an individual with integrity? Am I looking up to an individual with honesty? Am I looking up to an individual with some of the things that I think I really need in that particular person before I look up to them? So I think when it comes to the Gambia, people follow people randomly. That simply because the person might, be on social media talking, people started, calling him my role model. When people reach out to me that I'm their role model, I ask them this question: what do you think is in me that can inspire you? I think that is the basic thing that we all need to understand before we choose role models. So going to your question, who are my role models? I have, like I said, I have few. Yes, I have Halifa, Honorable Halifa Shala. It's my role model. Like, I am proud to say this anywhere I go to, because he has things that me and younger people can inspire, like can look up to. Integrity, checked. Nobody can question his integrity. And I think this is one of the reasons why you should look up to individuals like him. That anything that he said today, you will ask him 10 years ago or 10 years after, he will tell you the same thing. That he is consistent in whatsoever that he used to do. So, Uncle Halifa is somebody that really inspired me a lot. I remember 2016 was when I met him newly. While I was very young, 2016, and that was this time that was during the political impact. Everybody was indoors, and he was the one, touring the length and then the breadth of Combo. Then Gambia was at a very critical condition. The life of Gambians were at risk. But he risked his life to be out, to console people that nothing is going to happen. So I met him that night. It was around 11, 12 p.m. at night. I was standing just after one of my brother's house around Sarakunda, and I saw him passing, telling people that nothing is going to happen. He's the only one with his driver. The road was absolutely empty. So I asked my brother, like, who do you think Khalifa is in this critical condition of this country? He's out here consoling people. It's like you will get to know more about Khalifa when you get into senior school. So I get into senior school and I start learning ideas. Capitalism, socialism, feudalism, just to name a few. So socialism becomes part of me. Because when you look at the African society, I think socialism is something that is with us. We were living in a social society, that everything that belongs to the state belongs to everyone. So when we say something that belongs to the state, we are now referring to the economic aspect of it. The resources that are in the state belongs to everyone. So I get to learn about these systems, and Khalifa get to inspire me more. So I first met him personally, that was 2017, when my senior school sent me there to have a dialogue with Khalifa. So I get to know him. So from there, I constantly go there to learn something from him. So it is telling me that there is something in Khalifa that people should look up to. So Khalifa is one of my role models, and there is this role model that is very, close to my heart. He's a youth, and his name is Osman Toure. Osman is somebody that really inspires me. And sometimes when you tell people that you are Pan-African, they'll be like, you don't want to go to Europe, Yeah, you don't want to go to Europe. You don't want to go to America. Forgetting that Pan-Africanism itself starts somewhere in Europe. So what I am saying, because I like Osman for what he does. I like him for what he preaches. I like him for what he is saying. He's somebody that is very honest, and he's somebody that is very straightforward. Like, he's somebody that really loves Africa. And, I think to me, somebody who loves Africa loves me. I am part of Africa. I am an African, and you are an African. So somebody who is doing all his best to make sure that he inspires and then make sure that he changes something in Africa, it's somebody that I should look up to. So I think Usman is my youth mentor or role model. It's somebody that I look up to, but I do not have much role models.
That was quite impressive. Thank you, Omar. Omar has, let's say, vibrant people that he's looking up to because they have this thing in them that inspires him that he wants to become like them. So anyone that you want to be your role model, make sure that person has something in them, embedded in them, that will make you to be like, yes, this is the person I want to be my role model, because he has this thing that I think is so impactful when I have it in me, and I'm going to make a lot of difference. So don't just look at somebody because they have a lot of followers or because they are famous or popular. You'll be like, this person is my role model because, he's this, he's that, or something. No. Look at something that you don't have and the person has that can inspire you, okay? So, yes, thank you, Omar. And now, especially youths in the Gambia, you cannot talk about youths without talking about challenges, of course. Like, it's part of our everyday life. We have ups and downs, but then it moves on. Like, we keep on going. So what are some of the challenges you think youth face in this country, especially people that are youth activists, for example, like yourself?
All right. So thank you very much, Ramatoulie. One thing that is very fundamental when it comes to challenges in this country, I mentioned one previously, that is employment opportunities. I'm not going to talk about youth activists. I'm going to talk about the general population of the youths. Employment opportunities. This is something that is very sad. Your mom and dad take care of you when you are a baby. You go up to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Sometimes you go up to 25 or 26, and they are still giving you money for your breakfast and dinner. Instead of you giving it to them at your youthful age, they are still giving it to you at your 25th or 26th of your age. It's sad. No country develops that way. the youths are facing challenges. One of the reasons why they are facing these challenges, like I said, is employment opportunities. It is not there. The atmosphere is not there for the youth. Like I even said, entrepreneurship, is it sustainable if the government is not chipping in? If the government is not giving them the atmosphere to do that entrepreneurship skills that they have? If the government is not giving them that opportunity for them to, do the business that they want to do? So it still has to come down to us, the society that we are living in. What are the things that we think is challenging us, the youths? Like I said, that even the educational system that we have at youths is not sustainable. It's not fit for purpose. I am telling you that these are colonial legacies, colonial political systems that are imposed on us by the colonialists, by the colonial masters. They do it because of a reason. They were not doing it to advance us. They introduced this educational system that we were using 500 years ago because they want us to have easy access to information, communication with them. That is the sole reason why we have it. So now, we talk about youth empowerment and the challenges that youths are facing, and then you are still giving these youths this educational system. It's sad. You expect youths to go and then learn something, That is why the educational system is teaching us to be crammers, not understanders. Yeah, we cram, but we do not understand. We read, but we don't understand what the context is. That is what the educational system brought to us. The educational system is not designed in a way that youths can see themselves in it. Take an example. When we were at junior school, in our general science books, we have agama lizards, frogs, or toads. You really think that is something that someone can rely on for a living? What is agama lizard going to do for my life? What is fungi going to do for my life? These are fundamental questions that we need to ask. Do we really need to change that system to make sure that the youths see themselves in that educational system that we are talking about? Skills. Let them go and then train skills. Yes, government is trying a little bit now, trying to introduce the YOUTHS, that is the University of Applied Sciences, in the curriculum. But how sustainable is it going to be? Is government really putting in the resources that it should put in to make sure that the people that are into these fields have a living of their own from that? I can tell you this for free. The chair that we are sitting on today is not made in the Gambia, if I am right or wrong. You want to tell me that youths in this country cannot make this? They can make things better than this. But we are sitting here today in a chair that is not made in the Gambia. And we said we have an applied science. So we still have to ask ourselves, the educational system that we are having. Like I said earlier on, the colonial legacy is not going to give us anything good. So, okay, we are now using a chair that is made out of wood, I believe. We have timbers. We have skillful people in this country that can make something very big or nice than this, very good and quality than this. I can tell you this for free. You go to the president's house, the bed that the president is sleeping on is not made in this country. Even their toilet doors are not made in this country. So you really want to talk about youth empowerment in this country? Not only the government, top government officials, even National Assembly members, sometimes even our local representatives, our councillors. You go to their houses, anything in their houses is exported or is imported from Turkey, America, China, India. You go to the University of the Gambia Farba Bantang campus. Anything that is in that campus belongs to India, like it comes from India. The projectors, India. The chairs, India. The sockets, India. Right? So you want to tell me if investment is made in those areas, people that are living in the Gambia cannot make things like that? They can. But what is stopping them from doing it? So that is what I'm telling you. It's a challenge that government is not empowering them. So when it comes to youth advocates or youth activists, sometimes, who are these activists that we are talking about? I am being very honest. We have activists in this country, very right. But are these activists there for their pockets or they are there for the interest of the state? That is another question of its own. I will tell you that I have few activists in this country that I think they are doing their advocacy nice. I'm not going to mention names, but I'm telling you this for free, that some of the youth activists do not even know what they are advocating for. Right? I might call myself a political activist. I want to comment on everything that is on social media. I have very little knowledge on economics, for instance, but I want to analyze the economy of this country. Are you misleading the people or you are advocating for it? So we have youth activists who, I think it's good for youths of this country to get into advocacy, right? But it's also good for them to study. It's also good for them to go and then know. It's also good for them to go and then learn, what am I advocating for? Am I advocating for social justice? Yes, I am going to be in the social justice system. Am I advocating for politics? I'm going to be in the advocacy for politics. Am I advocating for economics? I'm going to be in the advocacy for economics. I am going to be in football advocacy. I'm going to be in the advocacy of football or sports. But you want to be everywhere. When things jump in, it's good. We might share ideas. But we are not going to take central or center figures. We cannot be at the center of those specific things if we are not a specialist on that particular thing. So I think the youths really need to go and then know more about this so that they can be able to be architects of their own destiny.
Wow, thank you so much, Omar. That was really, really fantastic. So youths out there, especially those that wants to be youth advocates or activists, in order for you to venture into being an advocate or an activist, make sure you learn and have acquired knowledge about the thing that you want to venture into, either politics, either economics, and stuff like that. You cannot just jump in and say, okay, I'm an activist, when you don't even know what actually suits you most. Like, what are you there for? Are you there for followers, or are you there for making impact? So it's very, very, very important. So Omar, to our next question. Actually, we talk about challenges. So here, we talked about entrepreneurship too, if I'm right. So what other skill do you think youths actually can venture into aside entrepreneurship, or probably it can be included as well? So what other skills do you think are impactful that for youths can venture into?
All right. So thank you very much, Ramatoulie. It is very sad that we are living in a country that politicians are richer than entrepreneurs. In every country that politicians are richer than entrepreneurs, that country is failing. Entrepreneurs are the business owners. They own businesses. I quote from PLO that he said, the shortest route to get ill-gotten wealth is to join African politics. You want to get rich and you don't want to work for it? Join African politics. So, I think the narrative needs to be changed. And as much as youths should enter into entrepreneurship, but it's also important if the youths take central figures, that is, joining politics. It's very important because, you see, the only way to change the life and the livelihood of the people is if you join politics. It's the only way, it's the fastest way to change or impact lives. Anything that you do or anything that you say is going to have impact, whether it's going to be positive or negative impact. So the youths, apart from entrepreneurship, there is one thing in this country. Youths always want to clap for people, right? But they don't want people to clap for them. We want to be running after politicians. We want to be shouting enough, We want to be on top of their gele-geles, right? We want to be foot soldiers. We want to be running after them. Everywhere that they go to, we are going to be there. I started my conversation saying that 60 to 70% of this country's population is youth. Anything that they want in this country is going to happen, whether people like it or not. In elections, they said majority. In the 1997 Constitution, it's a simple majority. That is, even one vote, you are qualified to be the president of this country. Even just a vote, one vote, you are going to be the president. 70% of this country's population are youth. You cannot tell me that since 1994 today, maybe 1994 is coup d'etat, and after the coup d'etat, let's say 1964 today. But there is one thing. This country always have youthful presidents. And as much as youth want to venture into politics, we are always having youthful presidents. I don't know. Jawara came into power when he was a youth. Jammeh, a very young man. Let's say maybe Barrow is a little bit older the time that he was coming into power. But Gambia was having youthful presidents. But not only youthful presidents, but are Gambian youth really ready to sacrifice their life for a country that they think that they belong to? Like I said, in 1964, when Gambia regains their independence, it took us a while before we become an independent state of our own. That is why most of the people will say, those who believe in Uncle Mahdi Jobate's school of thought, that 1970 is the actual day for independence for Gambia. Because from 1965 to 1970, the Queen of England was the head of government for the country, because we were having a prime minister or a premier. So Sadara Karabajora was the premier from 1965 to 1970. And youths of this country, pre-colonial or pre-independence, that is before independence, the likes of Edward Francis Small was a youth. He worked extremely hard to make sure that this country regains her independence. And maybe most of the people might not agree with me on this, that Sadara Karabajora gained his freedom on a silver plate. That is the bottom line. Someone who fought for the independence is not celebrated. We are not here to talk about the independence celebration. I think, that is going to be, another topic of its own if you want to start it. But, we talk about what are the things that youth should venture in. Like, I am bringing all these things because Edward Francis Small was a trade unionist, a founder of a trade union, that is the Batos Trade Union. And it's that trade union, thing that he was doing, that he organized one of the most successful strikes in this country, or demonstrations, non-taxation without proper representation. He was a youth by then. So it is telling you that youths have to venture into some things that are going to impact the lives and the livelihoods of the people, not only entrepreneurship. Let them join politics. Let youths join politics. Let them go and train skills. Sometimes we are going to train skills. We don't need the government to help us to sustain, even though we need them to buy some of our things. Like I said, that we are sitting on a chair that is not made here. In Barrow's house, the chair that he is using is not made there. In State House, there is nothing that is Gambian. In State House, nothing in that State House is Gambian. So what I am saying is, we have a role to play. And the role that we have is to venture into certain things to make sure that we change the lives and the livelihoods of the Gambian people. So like I said, I'm going to conclude this question with, let them join politics, let them join entrepreneurship, let them go and then learn skills. Let them be somebody that is going to be a figure of the younger generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omar. That was really, I'm sure anybody watching right now must have learned a lot. So, yeah. To our next question, can you share any personal experiences where you felt you were empowered or that you actually are empowered? And because, as we can see, you are a youth activist already. So, yeah, any personal experience?
Thank you very much. So, 2022 local government elections. I am one of the youngest, I can say, the youngest political aspirant in the elections. I contested in the local government elections as councillor. But, like I said, we cannot be on social media talking every time. We need to be action-oriented. That I felt my people are not represented. And I have a role to play in making sure that they are represented. So at that age, I am the youngest. I contested in local government elections, in the national elections. When you go to the history of this country, no one has ever contested on my age. At my age, I was 22 while I was contesting. At a very youthful age. The challenges that you will face at that age is, people will be like, Omar, you want to kill yourself? Because they think politics is a cut-and-throat game. That people who are venturing into it, you need to be prepared spiritually, mentally, and psychologically. I wake up one morning and I said, I am going to contest. Yeah, because I was reading something and the person that was representing my ward was neglecting my people. Only few knew that there was what we call ward development fund. These are funds that are given to them by the local government to go and then impact lives on their various wards. But how many of us are doing it? My mother works at a garden. My relatives works at a garden. So anything that they do in that garden, the state has a share, because they use their stuffs that they worked. They sell those things at the market. So anything that is sold at the market, the state have its own share. My father pay tax. I pay tax. And the tax that we paid really needs to reflect on the realities of our lives. Really needs to, we need to see those things reflecting on us economically. Like I said, there are reasons why we pay tax. We sacrifice some of those rights to the government. So while I was contesting, I faced so many challenges. As a young, let's say, stubborn individual that do not listen to, like what I said, I do not have much role models. So when I decided that I want to contest, I called Uncle Khalifa and I told him I want to contest. He was like, Omar, we get this. So I talked to him on several occasions about me coming as an aspiring candidate. So what he always tells me is, everything starts from somewhere. So it's a starting point for you. Whether you win or not, we are there. So I started, having a campaign team. But people were going behind my back, telling my mom that Omar is very young and he does not need to go in for this. That old woman is somebody that listened much to me. I mean, when I talk to her, it's obvious that she's going to listen. That yes, people do not want me to go. I was a threat to my opponents, right? It is sad that some of you will be like, they are not my opponents. They were my opponents. In politics, there is no friend in the game. That is the bottom line. we are opponents. They are not my colleagues. They are my opponents. We are all eyeing on something. And it is a fight. So they are going to do all what they can do to make sure that I do not join the race. So my mom called me. It was like, people came here and then they said, you need to go back to school and learn. Yes. But like I said, that woman listened to me more. So I was like, I came with this slogan, homeland or death. That was the slogan that I used on my campaign. Homeland or death. So it becomes a trending slogan, and everybody was scared. So the day of my nomination, people were like, he's not going to pull out much crowd. Yes, I rented 3 vehicles, that is 3 gelegeles in the morning. But people feel those gelegeles like we have to, book for another 3 extra gelegeles. And I am proud that I came out second. There is no second in politics, right? There is only one first. There is only first in politics. There is no second. But I can say that I was able to impact people, that the margin between me and then the person who won was just 70 votes. And one of the reasons why I do not win is because youths do not come out to vote. The voter turnout in the local government elections was bad. Right? It's not like I do not have ideas. I have ideas. I go to people who never saw me before. Tell them I am not here to beg for you. This is politics. People will be like, Mako nga baraka. It's not Mako nga baraka. It's Mako mbe baraka. That is the bottom line. It's not Mako nga baraka. So I told people, you know what? This is what I am here for. I'm not here to give you money. I do not have money to give them. I do not have money to give it to them. I'm not here to give them T-shirts. I do not print T-shirts. One of the reasons why this country is sinking is because people believe in this politics of T-shirt and benefit. Right? It's moral that when you call people on a gathering that is going to take quite a lot of time, you cook for them. Right? But these asobis and then T-shirts are things that I do not like. I do not want them. That is not going to give me votes. So I do not organize rallies. I meet them at their houses. I launch a house-to-house campaign. I go there, talk to you, you tell me your problems. I do not need to draft problems for you. You have your problems, you understand them more. Tell me those problems. And if I am there, then I'll be able to anchor them. So, because of time factor, we might not be able to delve into all these things. But I am telling you that one of the problems that the youths are facing in this country is empowerment. It's not there. Let nobody fool us that there is empowerment. It is not here. There is no youth empowerment in this country. And if the government do not change their trajectories, the youths are always going to embark themselves into this irregular migration, and we are going to keep on losing them. And there will be a stage that the country is going to be youth fatigue. We are not going to have youths in this country anymore. If the foundation of this country leaves home, who do you think is going to develop this country? We understand that the youths in every developed country that you go to, they want to go to Europe. The youths of those countries by then tighten their belt to make sure that their countries are where they are today. Right? But we are not doing it because we are not empowered. We have a government that has a role to play in that, but it is not. So the youths have to go because they still want to make a better living. So Ramatoulie, I think I should stop here before I consume a lot of your time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Omar. That was really, really wonderful. So our last but not the least question will be, what advice do you have for the younger generation that are looking up to you as either a role model or as a big brother?
Yeah, I will use that of the big brother. Like I said, for the youth of this country, we don't need to look up to people simply because they have followers on social media, or because we mostly see them talking on platforms. Like I said, if someone reaches out to me, I have series of them on my DM that some of them wants to be my role model. I ask you this simple question: what do you think is in me that can inspire you? You just don't need me because I am talking on my social media, or I am writing on things on my social media, and you want me to be your role model. You have to tell me things that are in me that can change your life. Things that are in me that you do not have. So look up the people that are going to add value to your lives. Young people of this country, just don't be there simply because he's having followers on Facebook, he's having followers on Instagram. But be there because you have seen something in him that can impact your lives and your livelihood. And first, join politics, youths of this country. It's the only way to change the narrative. It's the only way. We are talking about bad governance. It's the only way. We have the youngest president in Africa, that is Ibrahim Tarawa. You know, people might disagree with me. I am somebody who sometimes they question my democracy. I don't really care much about democracy. Like I said, I think it's a Western tool. So it is time for us to redefine what democracy really means to us. You know, like I said, the educational system was designed in Europe, not here. Let's say in London, not here. Right? But it's sad that 15 white boys sat at Berlin. 15 of them sat at Berlin. They were boys. They divide Africa the way that they think it should be divided. That is their own perspective. But it's sad that 54 of African leaders now, we cannot pull that gap still. So we still have to ask ourselves. So the youths have the strength. They have the power if they are not manipulated. So, like I said, you can be easily manipulated if you think your role models randomly. Choose somebody who you really think is going to inspire you. Choose somebody who you really think has something that you do not have. Choose somebody that can really impact your life meaningfully. Just don't go randomly to choose your role models. It's very bad and it's very dangerous for you as a young boy. So thank you very much, Ramatoulie, for having me.
Thank you so very much, Omar. That was really, really great. Thank you for coming. And I'm sure any youth watching out there have really learned a lot. So basically, if you're choosing a role model, don't go for someone that basically only have a lot of viewers on Facebook or something, but rather look for something that you don't have, that they have, and that can impact lives. So viewers, this is what we have for you today on the Youth Empowerment Show here with me, Ramatoulie Jatta, the host. So we're saying bye-bye and till next week, inshallah.
Welcome to GMEB TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. And open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type GMEB TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights, for the latest